by the federal government to address radioactive contamination related to our nuclear weapons program in the human environment. Other issues along Coldwater Creek over the years have included flooding, something we see everywhere, essentially where we have a lot of urban sprawl or subdivision development. You see a lot of more water going into the creeks, and therefore you see a lot of flooding. So not only would it have flooded or contaminated areas of Coldwater Creek along the actual creek, when it floods, they actually back up. So your tributaries and then actually south of the airport, we believe, are also contaminated, something that the Corps is looking at. Thank you for your support of increased investigation, expedited cleanup of the materials in North County, and the push for a deeper health investigation.
Next speaker is Janelle Wright.
Good evening. My name is Janelle Wright, and I grew up in the beautiful city of Florissant and lived there for 27 years. I'm one of the co-founders of the 10,000-member Facebook group, Coldwater Creek Just the Facts Please, which we started in 2011 due to the fact that a lot of our peers are reconnecting with social network and discovered a lot of our friends were fighting horrific illness and dying in alarming amount of numbers. Also, in addition to having cancer, we had a lot of autoimmune disease, and several of my friends gave birth to children with cancer. And it got to be to the point where who didn't have cancer or MS or some other odd disease, it was very overwhelming. In case you don't know, there's a lengthy period between exposure to radionuclides and the presentation of disease. So you don't get sick the next day, you get sick several years later, decades later. So we all grew up there, had a very stable life there, living there, and then reconnected after we moved away to college, got married, whatnot. This Facebook group that I mentioned, we started collecting data very informally about all the illnesses that everybody was encountering. And that data grew and grew and grew. And as of last October, a year ago, we had a cutoff of the information to create some maps. And if you could, I brought some maps with me. If we could pass those along at this time to the council so they can view those maps. Those maps encompass what people came forward on their own free will. 3,300 people came forward, and they shared their detailed health history with us. And each dot on these maps that we passed around represents someone who self-reported to us. These dots, I want to point out, most of the people who those dots represent do not live in those homes anymore. They grew up there. They were like me. They lived there a good 20 years. We were the first kids who grew up there. We were the first crop of children. And this is what's happened to us. It is our grave concern, along with the head of the state of Missouri and the health department and the Missouri DNR, that we have a situation there still that needs to take a much greater look at. Because again, we were the first children, and this is what happened to us. Anyway, what you're looking at again, that's data that was recorded last year, 2013, and we've met extensively with both federal government